All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Dungeon Master. Today we are going to be playing session 4 of Dragons of the Frozen Seas. This is a Norse themed setting in a Pathfinder game. We're going to be joining Ixlana, a bard from the south who has met up with Ulf, a um, powerful warrior battle scout, and Eric, a druid, both from these northern Viking lands, and together they have now rescued Scotty, who had been taken prisoner by the bandits. She is a warrior chieftain's daughter from the people who live even further to the north than the Viking themed Eric and Ulf's peoples. Um, they live a almost Inuit kind of lifestyle in igloo structures and raise reindeer. And it has been getting so cold and bad in those lands that Scotty had been sent off to be married to the local chief of this village that Eric and Ulf are from. However, when they were assaulted by the bandits, her betrothed had abandoned
We
her.
were on a date.
Yes, and her betrothed abandoned her after the bandits attacked. And although Scotty had taken out a few of the bandits, there were just too many, and they overpowered her and took her prisoner. And so, as the rest of the party has been investigating the bandits due to an attack that occurred against one of their villagers, and searching for the villager's lost son led them to the bandits' hideout, where they have now rescued Scotty, taken the bandit leader prisoner, and have been told that she knows where the boys' tracks lead to and that she will take them there, although now she is unconscious and therefore um, they will need to decide what they're going to do from here. So we're going to pick up from there. You guys can go ahead and we will begin.
Scotty would like to speak with the boy's mother, who's an NPC, but in front of everybody. And she says, "Thank you, all of you, for rescuing me. The bandits were going to do some very bad things, and I wouldn't live to see another. Thank you so much for saving my life. Uh, in return, if you will accept it, I would like to accompany you and help you on this mission. I am wounded, but I may still be of assistance. My spear and my body are at your service."
We'll
Somebody
be
else.
happy to take you, Scotty. You saved our lives too. Really, we, if it weren't for you, we probably wouldn't have got them all. So you're
Louder,
welcome to
please.
join us.
Louder, please.
I said, if it weren't for you, we probably wouldn't have got them all. So we'd be happy to take you on. You probably helped save our lives too.
Thank you, Ixlana. You are very welcome.
All right. If she's still unconscious, I want to take another look at that locket and her armor because I want to see if there's any signs that there, you know, there might be no with her mom and stuff. Um, because I'm curious whether what kind of I took a gentry level, so I guess I'm curious to see if her mom looks like a piece of some kind of noble family or anything.
Okay. So examining the locket, it is nobody that you recognize. However, you can see now that there is blood, a drop of blood that has fallen onto it and stained and dried on the picture, and the burn marks. You can deduce that this locket has been through a rather rough life of a battle of some sorts, certainly a fire, and the young age of the bandit leader means that, she's probably lived a very rough peasant life. And then examining her armor more closely, you can tell that she is from the lands that border the great woods to the east, a forest known to be infested with non humans that assault anyone who tries to travel through the forest and occasionally raid the villages along the border of the woods. And her people that come from this area are more known for being craftsmen. They build very good wooden furniture and more modern type of housing and all of that. That is what these people are known for. They're not known as warriors, and they're certainly not raiders like your guys's people would be. um so for them to have a whole group up here committing banditry is a bit off for their character.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I tell the party. So taking a closer look at uh their armor of the young girl, the bandit leader, I noticed that uh they are they're they seem to be a little bit better off than us, and so I say to the party, uh, looking at her clothes and the fine craftsmanship of the locket, these folks I suspect are running from something um, that drove them to this banditry. What?
Would it be local history or just history in general to roll to see if I know what's going on up north?
Yeah, so up north that would be local. If you're talking about knowing that the food is getting scarce from where Scotty's people are, due to the cold weather getting worse and worse. Yeah,
Yes, that's
you're
fair.
aware that Scotty's people have been coming further and further south as their typical hunting grounds have become more frozen over and inhospitable.
Well, it looks like we're gonna be spending some time here until she wakes back up. Uh, so, if you want to help me move the prisoners into the,
I think we should do that, and we should make sure they're bound as well.
The one that you left over to the right over here is bound and unconscious, and then the bandit leader um, is just unconscious, if I'm remembering correctly.
What?
I believe the bandit leader is just unconscious.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, so we're just gonna drag them over, or not drag, but carry them to the cage. Tie their hands. If there's for their feet, we'll use that, but I'm not too concerned about it unless you are. So, but give them something soft to lay on if there's any bedding and a blanket.
All right. Well, I start dragging over the prisoner that's shackled, or that's bound, rather.
We're putting the two prisoners in the cage. Okay, all of us do.
Has what's her name? Helga.
Hildirid?
Yeah. Has Hildred said anything while we're making them comfortable?
She is very anxious to get going. She wants to go and find her son. Other than that, no, she is not uh, making a lot of fuss, other than like time to go.
Okay, so we take the long rest and we tell Hildirid that she's unconscious. We'll get the information about the tracks and get her when she wakes up. And while we're doing that, we should take a long rest to get some spell points back in my case.
And I'll
Well,
volunteer to take first watch.
well, a long rest is 8 hours. The bandit is going to be awake by the time you finish getting them into the makeshift cell.
Obviously, we're going to get him into the cell before we take a rest.
No, I know. What I'm saying is, you guys bring them into the cell, and as you're shutting the door, the bandit is awake, and that means that she can tell you where the tracks are. She can lead you to the tracks right away, as opposed to waiting the 8 hours for a long rest, which Hildirid is not interested in doing.
Okay, so do we want to send somebody along with Hildirid ahead to scout with the? I'm asking out of character as a discussion. Do we want?
If Hildred wants to go on ahead with the with the prisoner that knows the way, I say let her.
I'm not letting her go with the prisoner.
That would be. Scotty speaks up and says, I have no right to speak in to weigh in on this, Hildred. But if you really do wish to rescue your son, your best until you have some stout allies at your back. If you go off to try and rescue him now, all unprepared, he's more likely to die, and so are you.
It's been 2 days that he's been out here. I've already waited well past my point of patience. I'm leaving with this prisoner, and anyone who tries to stop me, you might as well kill me right here because I'll kill you.
Uh, Scotty speaks up again and says, I'm willing to go along. I understand him. I would do the same if it was my child whom I was trying to recover. I will go with you, ma'am. It may be suicide, and she looks to the others of you of it would be great if someone would come, but I'll go with. Afterwards we can take a rest.
You sure you're in the condition to go right now?
Well, I have several wounds, but none of them are to my legs. I can walk, and I'm doing all right.
What about the bandit? She could die if she goes out there.
Hey, Ulf, come give me a hand with this last prisoner, will you?
Already there. Already happened.
Was that really help me with the prisoner, or was that an excuse to speak in private, which you guys should do if you need, like in front of us, but it's in private?
Yeah, Brian, which was it?
That was the latter, actually, but I didn't realize both the prisoners were already in the cell, so forget I said anything.
Well, no,
Oh, there's
by all
totally good
means,
excuses for
you
speaking private.
guys were bringing one of them over, and then could have gone and gotten the other one. So yeah, you can say, help me secure the other prisoner, because the other bandit was dying as well. So you guys can go and tend to the wounds and speak for a minute.
All right, we'll go do that.
Okay. While we're away, I say to Ulf, you know, I think we should put Hildirid in the cell too, so she doesn't go out stupid.
If the bitch wants to go, let her.
Okay, what if we tell her to just leave a trail for us to follow so we can follow her? Because she's obviously you know, she's the one that's progressing the story. So I really don't know how to deal with it.
So, as the DM and everything, I'm just gonna kind of interject here and let you guys know that although you are absolutely correct that this NPC happens to be quote unquote driving the story right now, that's only because this was the starter hook that we first began with back in session one, just to kind of get you guys out the door and get things kind of moving along. Because when you first start a Dungeons and Dragons campaign, sometimes there can be like a stasis lock, um, an overchoice that happens when it's too sandboxy, and you're presented with a world and just asked, okay, what do you do? And you're like, I don't know. Like, I have no idea where to go or who to talk to or what to do. So just to kind of get things moving along, I had thrown in that little starter hook of this Hildirid NPC bursting into the Staghorn Inn. Her husband killed, her son lost, and you guys go out to rescue him from the bandits. But it's been 48 hours now since you guys began that quest. You realistically wouldn't have a whole lot of hope for the boys' survival at this point. And so, whatever it is that you guys want to do, you're not going to be, penalized or arbitrarily forced into any kind of scenarios, um, just because this NPC is driving the story. That's the beauty of playing tabletop RPGs as opposed to a video game RPG, because we are free to change the story anytime we want. You don't have to just go along with whatever the next mission is. You are free to choose what your next mission is. So, don't feel hemmed in or forced to deal with this NPC and her problems. This is a dynamic world where if she wants to go run off and do whatever and you guys don't want to be involved in that, that is your choice and that is okay to do. However, yes, right now that is what was planned to happen. And since you guys were along, it would make sense to me in your characters that you would. but I'm sensing from Eric and Ulf that perhaps their characters are a little less um, inclined to go ahead and continue to help Hildirid here. So, perhaps Ixlana's character being from a uh, gentler people and all of that has a little bit more empathy and willingness to go along. Whereas Ulf and Eric are like, yeah, your son's probably dead. You should go home and deal with it. Um, so, however you guys want to play that out right there. I just wanted to make it very clear that there will never be a time where it's like, oh, you guys either follow the story or like bad things are going to happen or something like that. Things will happen if you guys abandon this quest, like probably the boy will for sure be dead if he's not already dead. Just due to the fact that you guys have already taken 2 days. This hook was designed for you guys to go find him right away. Obviously, that didn't happen with the bandits and all of that. So, um, you know, it's a dynamic world where things have already been happening, and whatever you guys want to do, things will continue to happen. But it's not going to be like a penalty because you didn't follow the story.
Thanks.
Brian, you see the chat? You can switch to voice now.
I say we just let her go off and do whatever it is that she's going to do. Uh, I think we should take a rest, and if she's still here when we wake up, fine, we'll help her. If not, then so be it.
No, the bandit's not hers to take. The bandit has to face justice for what she's done. If we can't let her take the bandit.
Okay, well, what do you propose we do then?
I
I'll take first watch. You can take second, and if the others want to go with her, they can, or they can. If Hildred wants to wait, she'll have to wait. If not, she can go on her own.
All right, sounds
Well,
good.
she needs the bandit. She doesn't know where to go on her own without the bandit.
right.
Yeah, if she she needs the bandit. So look, if we don't stop Hildred, she's going to either attempt to take the bandit, or if we want this bandit to face justice, then the only way for us to do that is to lock Hildred up while we rest. Otherwise, she's just got to take the bandit and go and try to do it herself, and get herself killed and the bandit freed.
Okay, so we can
How,
either do that, or we can send Scott. Scotty wants to go because Scotty's still got spells. I don't. We're none of us are really hurt. So the question is, do we want to split up and have him and they just leave a trail for us, or what?
none of you are hurt? So what is everyone's wound status?
I'm
If
fine with
if
wounds. I just don't have any spells.
if you would
Yeah.
permit, Scotty says that she's a healer and will gladly look at your wounds and treat them if that would.
Scotty, I appreciate it. I'm not wounded. I just don't have any. I
Right,
don't have any
but
weapons right now, other than I
who
mean,
is wounded? Scotty personally is at half hit points, half vigor, half life. Who
I
else
know
is
what I'm
wounded
gonna
and how?
do. I'm gonna go with Scotty and Hildred to scout to see if we can find them, and I guess, but I'll just.
Oh, Ixlana, I don't wish to go off alone. I'd rather stay with you folks, but this woman isn't going to be delayed, and I think if you restrain her again, that won't work out well.
bloody fools. We'll keep you from getting your full necks broken.
Is Ulf wounded?
No, I'm not wounded.
How about
Well,
you?
he's
Are you wounded?
grazed. He's got a small cut, nothing, major.
I can
Uh,
go. I just don't have any spells. That's the problem. So
do you have
I
a
don't have any
spear,
spells.
lass?
My
Says
stamina
Scotty.
is low.
Scotty says to Ixalana, "Do you have a spear?
I have a
You can take
rapier.
mine if you like."
I have a rapier. I'm
Oh,
good.
oh well, there you go. Okay.
All right. So are we splitting up or are we locking her up? So we
Now we're making ready to travel. We're all gonna go.
Hiddick and
Fool.
Ulf are gonna come. All right. And
Okay,
Scotty says to
I'm
Ixalana, "I think when the big men saw that we three women were going out in the cold to continue the mission, they decided to come with."
all right.
I'm gonna ask
just
the bandit.
I'm just grabbing all your tokens and moving you to the next page.
All right.
You wanted to ask the bandit something?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and converse with her while we're traveling, and basically, I want to keep an eye on her very close.
Question: is the other bandit being left in the makeshift cell or what?
He wants to know if the other bandit that's wounded is still in the cell.
If it's more than a
How
day's
far out are
travel,
the How far out are the tracks?
It's within a day.
that bandit's pretty heavily wounded. They're not ready to travel, are they?
They would just slow
No.
us down. Let's
Yeah.
Leave him some food and water. I'll leave him some food and water for the day. I'll leave him some food and water. Uh, and
Yeah, I'm gonna leave them in a cage. Food, water, bedding.
let me. We are. Oh, we already left it, didn't we? I was gonna say I can
Yeah,
find his wounds real quick.
we already took care of that, I believe.
Question question to our GM. Is there any chance that Scott find some sort of uh, berry type thing around here previously? And you remember she does Arctic berries, pine nuts, and anything that will work for good berry.
Yeah, I mean, nothing that is going to be as appetizing as like a blueberry, raspberry, anything like that, but certainly some kind of bitter tree nut type of berry, would be available somewhere, yes.
Great. First thing, she wants to find that and cast the spell as many times as she can and get some good berries, which she'll pass out to everyone. Does how many mechanically? How many times can she cast?
It costs 3 points for a first level spell, which Goodberry's a first level spell, not a cantrip, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, so you have 7 points left, so that would be twice. And you can go ahead and just go into your spell book and push the button twice, and it'll go ahead and do that up for you.
Excellent. I'll do that. Ooh, that didn't
Did
work.
I get any spell points from leveling up?
Uh, Whatever spell points you get, it only applies if you have a non-zero number.
So I gotta take a long rest.
Yes.
You kind of cut in and out there.
Yes. Yes, you need a non-zero number. If you have 0 wounds, 0 vigor, or 0 spell points, then when you level up, you don't gain any more. You gain the maximum, but not current, is what I'm trying to say.
In other words, I had 0 spell points, and when I leveled up, I got 3 spell points, but I'm still at 0 because I was at 0 when we finished. Okay.
Yep. All right, so now Scotty has a number of berries in her hands that can be used to heal hit points.
So she would like to. So Ulf is slightly wounded, but Irik is not. Is that
Right.
so? Here is an extra good berry for Ulf. One to eat now and one to save, or just eat them both. And will everyone else take one berry? Because I have to track them.
Yes, thank you.
So Ixlana takes one berry, and Irik takes one berry. Ulf gets two. Is Hildred wounded? Does she need a berry?
Hildirid is not wounded.
Okay. Scotty gives one to Hildred and says, "Save this for your son. It may revive him if he's still alive and wounded when we."
She nods and places the nut in her pouch on her belt.
So that's five she just gave away to you guys, and the other four she eats herself now to restore her wound. Um, a person can restore a maximum, I think, 5 hit points in a day with good
8.
berries. Oh, eight. Great. Okay. Well, she eats the remaining four. That's all her good berries and all her spell points. What does that do for healing? Since she's down both uh, wounds and vigor.
It replenishes an equal amount of wounds and vigor, 1 point each berry.
So if I
Ooh,
eat
so 4
one
points
now,
up
I'll
on
get my
each.
bigger.
What was that?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut Bruce out. He can go first.
No, go ahead. I'm done.
I said so. If I eat the blueberry, I don't have. I have hit points, but I am short vigor. That would help.
It would give you 1 point of vigor, but since you don't have any wounds right now, you could just wait as well, since it'll still give you the vigor and the wound if you get wounded.
Okay, I'll save it and put my caption.
The bandit leader was wounded too, right?
Yes, the bandit leader is badly wounded. I'm going to update their hit points right now.
I'm
Scotty
gonna
didn't
offer one of
offer her
mine
a
to the
good berry.
bandit. I'm sorry. I'm gonna offer one of mine to the bandit leader, and I'm gonna just quietly ask her, "Why have you been doing all this?"
She motions to you to keep it down. As you guys enter the woods. The woods in this area are full of dangerous animals of all sorts. Uh, Brown bears, polar bears, wolverines, wolves, all manner of creatures that can definitely kill even a group of warriors such as yourselves. And she motions that you guys are, you know, definitely too deep in the woods to be making noise right now. Yes, Star does do her best, and there is certainly somewhat of a path, so she is keeping her eye out. However,
Am I within earshot when she says all of this?
yes.
All
However,
right, I'm gonna.
the tree cover prevents her from giving you guys the full support, as if you were out on the open tundra. Go ahead, sorry.
I'm gonna roll a sense motive on what she's saying.
Mr. GM, what is the shading in the forest to the north and west of us where we can't see? Is that just very dense underbrush that we can't see past?
Yeah, you just can't see the forest for the trees.
So that's dense underbrush. And the bandit leader is currently in front, is that right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I just, anytime there's going to be some visual blockage, I like to throw down some dynamic lighting to, make that represented on the map for you guys.
Oh yeah, that's great. I just wanted to know what it was for sure.
Yep, just very dense trees and underbrush that prevent you from being able to see fully ahead. So, Eric, you can, you know, sense that she's just telling you what she knows, but then also what she's saying jives with what you know about this area. And then yeah, so Star, go ahead and roll perception, but as you move forward, you'll be able to see even without the perception. So depending on how early Star spots what's going on is going to be her perception roll here. Okay, so as Star is flying ahead before you guys start to come into this narrow pathway here before it opens up into a clear, Star spots and cries out that there is something ahead, stopping and listening, um, or better yet, Scotty seeing through the eyes of Star. You can see two the plains tens of thousands of years ago, um, but still live in this area, are battling each other, circling and clashing, butting their massive antlers together in a show of dominance as mating season is coming to a close.
Is there an alternate path?
There is not.
Yeah, can we move through the underbrush?
You probably, or not you, Eric probably could, but the rest of you, certainly Ixlana would not be able to.
All right, I'm gonna break off from the group and try to scout through the underbrush for another path. I think. I mean, are we sure that there's no other path?
The trail that the bandit leader knows goes right past these megaloceri. So she doesn't know of any other path. You can certainly try to scout and see if there's any other paths. Um, and then just as a general reminder to you guys, almost everything that I put you up against has at least two options, one for combat and one for non-combat. Now, some of the things combat would be very foolish and dangerous, and some of the things non-combat is going to be very difficult and hard to pull off, but there is typically at least a combat and a non-combat option for most things.
Okay, I'm gonna move quietly closer while not disturbing peace. I'm gonna try and get close enough to see if I can fascinate them so we can walk right past them. Do I understand?
Maybe it would be better for us to just make camp. That'll give us an opportunity to rest as well.
Hildirid is greatly opposed to that.
I don't think we should
So
make a plan.
Scotty's going to have a whispered conversation with Hildred and say, I understand your anxiety and desire to move on, but there are two battling bull elk just ahead, and this is the only way. What do you propose?
I would assume that the great hunters and warriors of my people would be able to handle a couple of deer.
You think that, do you? Those things it takes at least a dozen hunters to bring one down, and there's two, and they're big and riled up. 2 dozen hunters and warriors would not be enough, and even with 2 dozen, we would suffer many wounds and death. But you're welcome to go ahead if you can't wait. Won't help your son, though.
She kind of musters up her courage and puts her shield on her arm and pulls her axe and prepares to charge out and intimidate the megaloceroses.
Scotty says you might want to take a look at them before you do that so you see what you're dealing with. They'll stomp you flat without even noticing you.
They're in a rage. They'll run right over you. I agree with Scotty. They're more dangerous this way. They're already in a rage.
If you want to go out and get yourself killed, be my guest.
Be warned, though, Hildred, if you die, we have less incentive to seek after your lost. As long as you live, I will help you on that. But if you die, I can't guarantee we'll keep going. Your call.
If we all charge at them, maybe we can intimidate them and scare them off.
Tell you what, woman. Creep forward and take a look at them, and see if you feel.
As Hildirid attempts to move forward, she snaps a branch underneath her heavy boot, and one of the megaloceros turns its huge 12-foot span of antlers in your direction.
You're breaking up pretty bad. You're going to have to say all that again.
Huh, that's odd. Usually I don't have
I heard it
trouble.
pretty clear.
You've been breaking up the whole time.
Oh, it was clear for you, Bruce?
Mostly, yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll say it again just so you guys can hear it. I hope there's not an issue with my connection here. Uh, as Hildirid creeps forward, she snaps a branch under her heavy boot, and one of the megaloceros turns its huge 12-foot span of antlers in your direction.
We can only guess what's happening because we've backed up and aren't looking. We're in the narrow spot. Right, guys?
Amen.
Yep.
Right.
The megaloceros charges towards the sound, but its antlers prevent it from getting through this narrow gap. It starts thrashing wildly at the branches, snapping them and pushing its way forward step by step.
So does Hildred run?
Hildirid raises her shield and steps back towards you guys.
All right. All right.
I think we should withdraw and make camp, and then go out and look for your son at first light, Hildred.
Unless, of course, someone has the ability to make a lot of fire. That would probably drive them off. But otherwise, I agree
I
with that.
can make a. I can try and lullaby them, or I can try and fascinate them so we can pass. Just a minute.
You know what you can do, but that sounds very, very risky. If we just wait, these beasts will leave.
All right.
Rolling knowledge nature to see what their normal behavior is. Will they just bloody leave?
So, well in rut, the deer are far more aggressive, but they still have to, follow the basic survival of like eating and drinking and sleeping and all of that. So, yes, sooner or later, they must move on.
Okay. So we wait.
Wait, that's not.
Well,
We don't have.
this one now is pursuing you guys. It's breaking its way through the branches to get to you.
We're smaller. Can we scramble into the underbrush better than it can?
Oh, yeah.
Let's do that.
Yep, let's go through the underbrush.
So, it's difficult terrain, but slowly crawling your way through the tangle of branches and bushes and thorns and vines and everything else, you guys manage to get yourselves deep into the underbrush where the megaloceros has no hope of reaching you. It bellows out in its loud elk uh, roar in anger and thrashes its antlers violently at the underbrush and gets them stuck.
Once we're back in a safe place, Scotty wants to pull out her sling and start slinging little pebbles at it. They'll just annoy it and won't damage it, but it might drive it off.
And that is exactly what it
Best thing?
does. That is exactly what it does. It gets its antlers stuck and it thrashes for a minute, but as Scotty starts to pelt it with bullets from the sling, the megaloceros uses all of its might and breaks one of its antlers clean off, and its head dips comically to one side as its huge antlers unbalance it. One of its antlers is stuck in the branches and tangle yet, and it kind of runs off.
Okay.
I wonder what megaloceros antlers are worth.
Probably worth carrying to find out if it's a nice specimen.
You can do an appraise check.
Star scouts out. Are they both gone? Does it seem safe to proceed?
The other one, after the other megaloceros broke off the battle and went to chase you guys, stood there bleating, not bleeding with a T, not a D, bleeding and calling for a female, and it is still standing in the clearing as this is the prime location that the two megaloceroses were fighting over. So it's just standing in the clearing trying to attract a female.
Okay, I'm gonna roll for stealth and just try and not disturb it and move on.
So, guys, says Scott, I could start pelting this one with my sling. Maybe you could, if you want to help me, if we stay in the bush and pelt it, it'll move on.
I have arrows. I think that would just hurt it. I don't have a sling.
Gonna ready a rock to throw as Scotty readies his sling.
And I will throw a rock. I will throw some debris towards the area to move it on to.
Ditto.
So, if that's the plan you guys want to go with, by all means. I would just like to point out that unlike before, though, where there was two creatures, so there was too many for you to fascinate at once to begin with, and they were in combat, so there was no way that it was going to work. Now there is
Okay.
only one creature that is not in combat. Basically, they would have to roll pretty well to not be
Okay, let
fascinated
me
by
do that
you.
then.
You could fascinate this one, and you guys could all just move on. But I'm only suggesting that because you had wanted to do it earlier, but it just wouldn't have worked so well then. But it will probably work pretty well now.
Okay, thank
Do
you.
it
I
to it,
forgot there was
Ixlana.
only one creature. I'm sorry. Yeah, I will do.
Uh, what would I roll if I were to attempt that? Would that be handle
That's,
animal?
that's me. I've got fascinated as a part performance.
Ah,
Have at, Ixlana. Just don't get hurt.
All right.
And we won't annoy it or anything. That's the backup plan.
Can I assist her with my empathy?
Uh, yeah, I don't know how to do this.
Yeah, unfortunately I had Inspire Courage, but I didn't have Fascinate set up. I will put a Fascinate
Okay,
in
it's
there.
okay. Just tell me how to do it.
I just have
You
to
could
roll a
just say,
will
I'm doing
save.
it.
I just have to roll a will save.
Yeah, you've already announced it. He rolls safe.
I have to get close enough. Am I close enough yet?
Correct. You do have to be within 90 feet.
Scotty keeps a sling rock ready
Where
just
am
to
I?
throw as a
Where is he?
distraction in case it charges.
He's up over here to the northwest of where you are at. You just gotta spin your token a little to the upper left. There you go.
Good.
And he has critically failed. So not only is he fascinated by Ixlana, he is in love.
He's gonna follow us now for a round. All right. Okay, boys
From
and
now on,
girls.
Ixlana rides her megaloceros everywhere she goes.
Yay!
So this thing is friendly now.
It it is not friendly. It is fascinated with Ixlana and like kind of in love with her. Like if you've ever met a big dog that just wants to keep pushing up and leaning up against you, that is what this megaloceros is
Her name
basically.
is Lizzie.
I'm gonna roll a handle animal and see if I can make him friendly toward us.
Yeah, it wants to mate with Ixlana. Yes, basically.
Ixlana, it would really like your good bear.
I guess I did my job too well there. Guess we have a new friend. I. How long does handle animal last if you do it?
Ah, yes, wild empathy would be better, huh?
There you go. Yeah. I figured I'd just help you out this time, and then next time
I
you'll
appreciate that.
remember. Yeah. So using his wild empathy, Eric manages to take advantage of Ixlana's fascination, the Megaloceros' fascination with Ixlana, and using a combination of the two abilities, Ixlana's bardic arcane magic and Eric's natural connection with the natural world, you guys managed to get the Megaloceros to become neutral towards you.
Cool. That works for me.
All right. Well,
Shall we keep on?
yeah, let's keep going.
It will not let you ride it or anything like that, but from now on, if you were to encounter this Megaloceros, it would treat you as a non-hostile entity.
Good job.
So where to?
Okay, yeah, so just gotta gather you guys up here. Sorry, that was this map's encounter. Now to get you to the next one. Well done, by the way, guys. I really didn't want to see a TPK because you guys decided to go just head on with two megaloceroses.
Thank you. I needed a little help, but you got it.
You guys are bleeding up my map.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Who turned out the lights? Can't see.
Oh, I am sorry. Global illumination on now. There you go.
Scotty looks up at the sun overhead on this chill day with great appreciation. She's glad we're not here in.
Yeah, the night didn't last very long here in the far north. Star sees a rocky outcropping and some trees and you guys. Does that say Star has 0 hit points?
Apparently, I haven't changed it or touched.
That's not good.
Star has not been wounded.
Yeah, there we go.
Which way are we going? Are we going northwest or southeast or what?
You're going west. Or east. East.
East.
Right.
Okay.
To the right.
Okay.
I was about to say this is going to be a very short map if we're going west.
Yeah.
What is sunrod, by the way? It says sunrod. I don't know what that is.
A sunrod
Uh,
is a special kind of torch.
it's like a magic battery torch. It's a one-time use thing. You smack it and activate it, and it for like 12 hours or so.
Thank
So it's an
you.
emergency torch,
Thanks.
and I think they're magical.
Awesome.
They're technically magical. In this society, they're just kind of accepted as like a form of technology.
Alchemists can make them.
Correct.
Funny thing, 'cause I wanted to be an alchemist at one point, and then I didn't.
Yes, in a parallel universe, Ixlana is an alchemist.
How close did the bandit leader say how close we were here?
Yes, the tracks she saw and led right up to the cave that he probably took shelter in the cave.
What cave? Is there a cave on this map? Is ah
That cave.
Scotty quietly tells everyone that Star will remain in the sky but can't help us in the cave, of course. And Star will stay circling above. Will warn us if anything comes.
Yep.
Let's check for track. Is anyone a good tracker?
Uh,
Scotty is a
yeah,
competent tracker, but not a good tracker by the
Eric
standards of
are all
the
for good
Inuit type
trackers.
people.
What skill would that be? Survival?
Uh, so Eric, you have a special feature. Oh, you already, yeah. So it prompted you to ask if were you looking for tracks, and you said yes.
Yeah.
You like that? Very convenient, yes.
Yes.
So, Eric is the best tracker, and he turns to Scotty and he shows her what to look for, and using his tips, Scotty, Eric shows where the boys' tracks lead, and Scotty, you're looking right at it. If you zoom right in, can you see that on your map? You guys are all gathered around it, so I'm assuming you guys can see it.
Can see what? The cave?
This set of footprints right here.
No, we don't see it.
No, we don't see anything like that.
Okay, if
I
you
do. I see a little outline.
yeah, if you zoom all the way in, it's very hard to see. I did that intentionally.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, they're there.
yeah. So those are to scale.
Or to scale, which means that's that doesn't look like child-sized tracks, though.
Like a
No.
giant or an ogre.
Yes, those are enormous bare footprints.
Bear?
No, like barefoot. Like there's
All right,
no
yes, I
shoe.
noticed that. I noticed that, and I noticed that, and I say to the whole group, those don't look like human. Those don't look like child-sized tracks.
Can I recognize what the tracks would belong to?
It's human-like, but like a giant human. You know, something something easily 10, 12 feet tall.
Do I see any smaller human tracks size around here?
Yes, Eric had spotted the child's tracks leading up, and with his roll had actually found a piece of the child's the string rope that they tie their boots to their feet with. He had found a piece of that and recognized it as being the kind of twine rope that's used by your village to tie your boots. So, like, it's a very good sign that this could be, him. There's child size tracks leading up to the cave, and then you found a piece of a boot. So,
So there's giant tracks and small tracks, both leading to the cave.
yes. Well, the giant
Okay.
tracks, you find a couple, like they lead to and from the cave. The giant lives here.
Looking around, I see that there's blood in the snow on the map here.
Yes, that is from you guys from before.
Ah,
Yeah, since I'm in front, I so I say these are huge tracks. Looks like we're in for some trouble.
Do we have a way? Can anyone think of a distraction to help us get away if we have to run?
Is it possible to scale above the cave?
To do what? I'm not following quite what you're trying to do.
To create a noise or something to lure whatever's in the cave outside of the cave, or we remain hidden from?
Oh, you want to go and like cause like a mini avalanche or some kind of disturbance and see if you can get anything to come out?
Something like that. Mainly, I want to see what good hiding spots we have first.
Yeah, yeah, hiding spots. Are there any places we could run away to near here where we could fit and a big creature like that couldn't easily? Place we can run away.
Well, there's the woods where you guys came from on the other map, which is, a good quarter of a mile away from here. Um,
that's
uh,
a long
Prepare
way
the
away.
way. And Scotty says, hey, if we have to run away and are defeated and we're scatter, let's rendezvous back in the woods over there where we stopped briefly before we came out of the woods. Does that sound good to everyone?
That sounds
Yep,
good.
sounds like a plan.
We could something up so we can climb up the cliff, and they wouldn't be able to follow. Hope.
I was gonna say, what are you basing that on though? Because you don't know what it is. You just see big human-like footprints.
Guys, let's all get together and try to go in. Ixlana, can you try that fascination trick again?
Uh, I will, but I have to. I have to. Actually, who has the stealth? Who has the best stealth? I think somebody should go in.
Probably me or the bird.
Okay, because I have to be within. I have to see them, and I don't see them, or they have to see me, and I can't do it without them seeing me.
Sure. Scotty says I also have something that might work against it if it comes. So if it falls as if it went to sleep, please do not wake it up.
Okay.
Everyone got that?
I think it would be a good idea for us to set like a rope at the cave entrance, just something taut to possibly trip up something that comes out.
That is a great idea.
That is a great idea. We can cover you. We can cover the entrance stealthily and watch if you feel competent to do that. And we all need to stop talking. I mean, the players we can talk, but characters need to not talk.
Out of character.
Yep,
My computer just crashed.
I'm just loading up the next map.
It's pitch dark in there, right?
It will be. I have a torch for you guys in just a second. For some reason, it's making me wait to load the page. I hope that this is not going to be an issue.
Probably a network thing. I'm loaded up, but it's all dark. What about the rest?
Yeah,
Still
dark.
loading.
But that's a brilliant idea to set a snare to try and trip it. That might give us a chance to escape if we have to run.
Right.
Ooh, if we might be able to bargain with the creature too. It'll like good berries. If it eats one, it'll probably want more.
Yeah, for being a very bitter tree nut that you guys are used to eating and not really liking, but needing to, take in the calories and nutrients from it. This when it was treated by Scotty's magic, this tasted very sweet or savory or whatever your uh, taste preference would be. It's almost like it knows what you like and it tastes like that.
And it
Ooh.
provides a full day's nutrients and food and water.
I am sorry, guys. Give me just a little bit here. It is now made me click wait for the page 3 times, four
Shall we take a
times.
quick bio break?
Yeah, why don't you guys go ahead and take a quick break? I'm gonna try and get this loaded, and we will meet back here in say 5-10 minutes.
Got your connection to the server has been interrupted.
It should be working pretty soon. My map is loaded and I went to copy the tokens
I'm still connected.
onto the map, so it should be loading up soon.
Go maybe a little light from the entrance or something so we can see the basics of the map.
Yeah, as soon as it's loaded for me.
Done. Awesome. We're obviously going to need light to continue, but yeah, we're still on break.
Yep. Okay, now I'm getting a connection to the server has been interrupted, but everything looked loaded for a second before that happened. Yep. Okay, there we go.
Ah, I think you got some. I has a little bit of internet issues. Some of
Yeah.
your voice is breaking. Not
Oh,
always, but sometimes.
gotcha.
If you do have an alternate higher quality network, now would be the when I'm GMing, I usually use my local Wi-Fi, but I also have a high grade special connection that I switch to, just a cell connection that's dedicated.
So right here is a torch that anyone can grab. So whoever wants to light their torch can go ahead and subtract one torch from their inventory, and then you will be the one responsible for grabbing this token and moving it around the map with you. And what you can do is move it on top of your token, and then by using click and drag, you can select both of the tokens and move them around the map at the same time.
I don't think we have permissions to grab it yet.
What? Oh, well, what is going on?
Tis not in all player mode yet.
I'm still a black.
Yeah, okay, now you can grab it. That should have been set to be grabbed. I don't know how that got missed. So yeah,
I
now you guys can see and
Ixlana, can you see?
I can't see anything.
Ixlana, I can see you. Has sight maybe? Needs has sight?
I can see.
I can't see anything. Looking out again.
Okay, this is where I'm going to set up the rope at.
Okay, we'll have to approach carefully because there might be stuff there. Can't couldn't you set the rope outside the cave?
Yeah, we could. Let's do that
That'd be
instead.
better.
Yeah, let's do that instead.
Scotty will hang back and keep guard while you guys do that. Anybody who's next to her helping to keep guard?
I can't see anything.
So Ixlana, you still can't see at all.
yeah, hold on, let me try to get that fixed. All of a sudden, I'm having some major lag.
My goodness, not doing anything. I might have to continue talking.
All right, I've set up the snare outside the cave. Everybody, make sure you remember where it is so you don't get caught in the trap.
Yeah, don't just go running out.
Okay, I can finally see y'all.
Good. But I am still completely frozen right now.
Mr. GM, I think you need to reboot your device. I think it's a network thing.
It
Yeah,
might be because this is a huge map. It's like half a gig.
yep. All right. So, oh, that
So if
popped
you have
up.
a memory leak issue,
Yeah, server been interrupted.
Okay. So I am going to go ahead and pause the stream and reboot, and I will be back in just a little bit.
alright. Yeah, video cards and whatnot. It's pretty big.
Fast for me, but I'm spoiled.